Hey guys, so this is the actual episode 22 Baddies Midwest review slash recap. If you're watching me on TikTok, make sure you follow me on YouTube. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you follow me on TikTok. So we continue this episode with Dolly getting into the ambulance and Lex and Summer having their reactions to the situation. Now, Lex was sitting there crying in that confessional, and I'm just like, didn't y'all film these confessionals months later? I believe they said y'all filmed these confessionals. Y'all filmed these confessionals in like November when the season was about to start. So what is all this fake crying about like it just happened? Then when Dolly gives her farewell outro because she ends up going home from this, she didn't even mention Lex. She said the one person I'm gonna miss is Summer. But Lex is here fighting for Dolly, and she want to fight Jayla and this one and that one for Dolly. She having vengeance for Dolly. Girl, Dolly ain't even give a fuck about mentioning you in the outro. So Dolly was unconscious for a while, but she ended up waking up. She basically said the last thing she remembered was being in the bathroom with Summer, and then everything went black. And she's really confused about all of this because this is the first time that she knows that herself or anyone in her family has had a seizure. But she did admit what I said last week, which is that she should have taken better care of herself. She's a grown woman. So if Natalie wasn't feeding them or making sure that they got water, it's up to you as a grown-ass woman to go get some water or go get some food. Because there's food and water everywhere you go. And Dolly talking about she's supposed to be going out with a bang, but she in the hospital. No shade, you've been in the hospital after every fight. So this is kind of just your pattern. I guess you did go out with a bang. You have a fight and then you go to the hospital. Like, you're going out with a bang was fighting Jayla. Okay, so that's that. Bye, Dolly. So we get a glimpse of the outside of the hotel that the OGs are staying at. Rolly is FaceTiming Natalie and basically saying, I'm coming up on the elevator. I'm coming to your room and we need to talk. So when she gets there, it's her, Natalie, Scotty, and Tinkerbella. And Rolly is basically telling them about what went down with Dolly because she was at the house when everything took place. But once again, Rolly basically said that, Dolly's been complaining about her head hurting since last night when they went to the club and she fought Jayla. Rolly said she wasn't actually able to go into the hospital with Dolly because it could only be two people at a time. So it's Summer and Lex. But I do agree with what Rolly and Tinka said as far as, Lex and Summer being there for Dolly was real. That's how it's supposed to be when people are really your friends. So Natalie tells the ladies it's time to get dressed. We're going to have a dinner tonight and I am going to be having a special guest. She hasn't said who it is yet, but we all know it's Mel because this is clearly the end of the season. So then we cut to Pretty P, Nunu, Jasmine, and Ivory sitting together. Nunu asked Ivory, did she speak to Lex or Summer? She said she don't have either one of their numbers, which isn't surprising, but she does have Dolly's number. And unfortunately, Dolly hasn't been responding because obviously she's going through all of this. So just as the girls were saying that, Lex and Summer walk in and they confirm to the girls that Dolly is feeling better. She's good, but she won't be returning to the show. So then Lex starts saying, I'm really feeling some type of way because it all goes back to last night. And now that I know my girl is okay, my focus is on Jayla. And Ivory is saying what I'm saying. I guess we trying to correlate what happened to Dolly to her fight in Jayla. Like, please, it don't really make sense. Like I said, I think Dolly just wasn't taking care of herself. Like she basically admitted in the confessional, not eating, not drinking water, drinking a bunch of alcohol, just not taking care of yourself. And honestly, if it was because of a fight, then that would have happened at any time because Dolly kept looking for fights with people. And every time she would fight with people, she would be the one that ended up going to the hospital. So you would think at some point Dolly would calm her ass down and say, maybe I need to stop calling out so many fades. But that's not what she did. So even if it is because of the fight, I don't even think you could blame Jayla because of the type of person Dolly is. Like she was going to get into another fight one way or another. So if this was going to be the one that was going to cause her to have that type of reaction, it was going to happen regardless because she's always looking for an issue. So you can't blame Jayla. Lex says she's very well, even though Dolly is done, and she's going to beat Jayla's ass for this. Like I said, while they do seem like real friends to an extent, I just feel like all three of these girls are using each other for clout. Dolly using Summer for clout, Lex using Summer and Dolly for clout. Summer, the only one who really not using them for clout. She was going to be a star on the show regardless because of how crazy her personality is. So I take that back. Summer's not using them for clout, but Lex and Dolly are definitely using Summer for clout. And I even now think Lex is using Dolly for clout. Like using each other for storylines and just jumping into each other beefs, like for more camera time. Lex been looking for a problem with Jayla since day one. First it was Jayla was a bully and you didn't like how she supposedly bullied Gretch and Biggie, which didn't even happen. But you sat there while Rolly bullied Slim and was laughing about it. So now you had to find another reason to have beef with Jayla before the end of the season. Like, girl, bye. You just clearly did not like Jayla when you used to be sitting in that dorm room watching Baddies, like you said. Jayla must have been your least favorite baddie. So you said, now that I'm on the season, I'm going to make sure I get me a way to beat this girl up. Like, please. So Nunu asked Summer if she got smoked with Jayla too. She said, I don't give a F about this B, but basically said she would run that with Jayla if she needed to. And she just said, my problem is still the same thing. The OGs don't stand on the rules that they want us to follow. They say we can't jump, but they jump. They say we can't sneak, but they sneak. They say we can't wear rings, but they wear rings. And all of them basically agreed that they were shocked that Jayla was the one who threw the first punch at Dolly when the OGs set these rules that they never supposed to fight in the club. And they feel like Dolly was kind of caught off guard because of that, because she didn't expect Jayla to do that, especially while they were in the club. So Natalie calls Lex, and in her confessional, she like, oh, I got to check on these girls and do my job and make sure everybody's okay. Oh, Rolly told you about yourself after the Tommy Pow Pow situation, so now you want to do your job and be a real EP and act like you care about these girls? Natalie, please. So Lex basically told Natalie she still feels a way about the whole situation that happened at the club, but Dolly's okay. Natalie said, well, I am setting up a dinner tonight for us to eat. Like, please, you know they ain't going to eat. And all the girls said that in this episode. Like, we know we ain't going to eat. Natalie and her dinners. Like, girl, you could stop, because we all know it's just a setup for a fight. And she lets them know that there's going to be a special guest. And then she basically asked Lex, hey, is Ivory with you guys? And Lex was like, yeah, she's right here. Lex and Ivory sitting right next to each other. Like, do y'all still got beef or no? I guess y'all do, because y'all ended up fighting at the reunion. So I don't understand. Like, are y'all cool or not? Because y'all be sitting right next to each other and smiling at each other and laughing with each other a lot. But then y'all end up fighting again. I'm confused by that. So you could tell Ivory was so happy, you know, things was going smooth for her. Natalie asked her how she was doing. She said, I'm doing great. And she was smiling, just looking sweet, you know. And here goes Natalie talking about, well, just so you know, the special guest that's coming tonight is Mel. So then they finally decide to fill us in about how, you know, Mel was behind the attack on Ivory and Milwaukee when they had the hosting, which we saw episodes ago, and they didn't explain it back then, but they explained it now. And Natalie claimed before she got off the phone with them that she's going to be checking on Dolly after their dinner tonight. That's what she'll be busy doing. Like I said, Rolly really told you about yourself and got in that ass, and now you want to act like a real boss and a real EP. So the girls are finally headed to their luau dinner, and you can see that Summer and Lex are coming in their bonnets. They're not coming dressed up. You see Ivory got her hair tied up. She's not coming dressed up because Ivory knows that she'll be fighting Mel tonight, and Lex and Summer are only going to this dinner to seek vengeance for Dolly, as the episode title was, Dolly Vengeance. So while they were on their way there, Lex was basically saying, you know, I hope the OGs aren't going to take advantage of the fact that there's more of them than us. And now Dolly's not with us, so it's just me and Summer. Basically saying, you know, they might try to jump them. So Nunu asked Lex, is it on site? And she was like, yeah, it's on site. Like, as soon as we walk in there, it's no talking. I'm running up. So Summer asked Nunu, how did she feel? Was she looking to fight anybody? And she basically said, you know, she just going with the flow. She didn't name no names, but we know that the people she really got issues with is Ahna and Biggie. So I guess she like, as long as they don't say nothing to me, I'm not worried about them. And while I do see that she has been aligning herself with Summer, Lex, and Dolly, she is not as locked in with them because she's not willing to just jump out there and fight for them and include herself in their threesome and make it a foursome because she hasn't been there for the whole season. But Nunu basically said she definitely understood and respected where they was coming from. Like, they should pop off for their girl because she would do the same for hers. This was the quietest I've seen Summer. She says she ain't here to talk. She not really here. She out of her body right now. She want to get in and out, and she know exactly what she going there to do tonight. So you could tell that this whole Dolly situation really did affect her because that loud, bubbly, crazy, obnoxious personality is not really there right now. So then on the OG bus, Biggie is basically saying, you know, Natalie let us know that the OGs are on that tonight. Thank you, Captain Obvious. And she was like, Natalie need to get the F out of my face because I really don't know whose side she on right now. As far as the special guests, who the OGs are still basically saying they don't know who it is. Ahna, Jela, and Scotty was saying, you know, we don't know who it is, but we really don't care. We got our own stuff going on tonight. Like, this is really not the night for Natalie to be bringing in a special guest and expecting us to be welcoming to them. You know, we angry and we got our own, you know, targets right now. We not worried about Mel, who is the special guest. Ahna says she definitely wanted with Summer. She knows Summer going to come for her tonight. And she don't know if Lex going to come for her or not. But Lex been running her mouth and she ready for Lex too. She don't care if they want to avenge their friend. She's beating their ass. Well, you definitely didn't do that. But okay. And then Scotty says she also wants her ones with Summer. Back on the newbie bus, Ivory said there's definitely no talking or no chance of a resolution for her and Mel. When Mel comes in, she just needs to shut her mouth and throw her hands. Jayla says she's definitely going out with a bang tonight back on the OG bus. And she said that this was going to be BGC Jayla. You disappointed us as well. So we finally see the girls starting to arrive to the luau dinner in their separate groups. So first we have Natalie and Jaden because Jaden is the only celebrity guest left. She lasted the whole season. So shout out to her, even though she was pretty boring. So then we have the rest of the OGs join Natalie and Jaden, and they have this Hawaiian fire dancer who greets them at the dinner. And then, of course, we're going to have this group go in before the newbies arrive. So you see how all the OGs were enjoying the experience. They had their phones out. They were recording it so that they could have a memory. When the newbies got there, they basically were like, oh, we respect your culture, but we really just want to get in there. We have business to take care of. That's what Lex was saying in her confessional. Like, girl, have you ever been to Hawaii? Because I think you was one of the ones who said you never been out of the country, or this was the furthest you've been from home. So you should really be taking it in rather than focusing on fighting. You've been fighting all season. Actually enjoy some of the traveling and the vacationing that you're doing. And keep in mind, when I say the newbies, I'm really talking about Summer, Lex, and kind of Ivory in this moment as well. Nunu, Pretty P, and Jazz were actually enjoying the experience because they don't have anybody that they planning to fight tonight. So the newbies walk in and sit down with the OGs. Ahna's already popping her shit to Summer, saying, welcome to Waikiki where bees get effed up. I see you got something new to wear today, this, that, and the third. And Summer was honestly sitting there really quiet. Jayla and Scotty were making their little side comments too. So they have this live music start playing and these two ladies dancing for them. Everybody's watching, and then Summer gets up and she's like, hey, Nat, you didn't give me a hug. And when she goes over to Nat, Ahna was like, Scotty, watch your back, because Scotty was not far from Natalie. I think she was right next to her. So Scotty turned around, and when Summer was going to try to sneak her, when she was finishing hugging Natalie, Scotty kicked her. She did her signature move, and she kicked Summer right in her chest. Scotty ate that. Ate that. And you could tell Summer just don't listen. Like, we could hear the production yelling in the back, Summer, Summer, go back to your seat. Go back to your seat. So Scotty was yelling at Natalie like, get your B, get your B. And she was like, I don't even understand why Natalie allowed Summer to go over there and hug her. Like, I understand you the EP of the show or whatever, but Jayla's supposed to be one of your closest friends. And Dolly and Summer was just jumping Jayla the night before. When Jayla had swung on Dolly, Summer jumped in. So Scotty starts to say that she went in Natalie's room and she saw this chain and it was supposed to be Summer's Baddies chain. So she took it and she was like, if you want it, you're going to have to go through me. Just as she was trying to say that, Lex runs up on Jayla and they start fighting. So at first, the first round between Jayla and Lex was looking kind of even until Lex and Jayla started grabbing each other and Lex like body slammed Jayla on the ground and she started macking her when she got her on the floor. Yeah, so Lex got that first round. But when they finished the first round, I was like, damn, they kind of overhyped it. Like, where's the knots? People were saying Jayla really got whooped by Lex. But I didn't know that they was going to have a second round. So Lex was like, yeah, that was for Dolly. That was for Dolly. So while the security was holding Lex after they separated her from Jayla, Summer was in the back and she was getting into it with Scotty and Ahna. So Lex was like, oh, y'all better not be jumping her. Y'all better not be jumping her. And Ahna was like, nobody's jumping her. Nobody's jumping her. Rolly was in her confessional basically saying that she was low-key on the newbie side. She was like, I feel like they've been good girls. They've been following the rules. They've been listening to what Natalie say. So at this point, I feel like they just need to do their big one and let's just see what ends up happening tonight. So you could tell that Summer was really triggered by Scotty saying that she had the chain. She was like, run me that, run me that, run me that. And Scotty basically said in her confessional, she didn't know if it was Summer's Baddies chain or anybody else's, but it was a Baddies chain. So she just wanted to prove a point to Summer like, yeah, I could get your chain and you won't get one. So then Lex started saying, come here, Scotty, come here, Scotty. And I'm not going to lie, Scotty did her big one tonight when it came to Summer, but she didn't want that with Lex. She didn't want it with Lex. And I understand why. Lex would have tore Scotty up. So, she was definitely talking, but we know that Scotty be protected and that the security was holding Lex. She was telling Lex to shut up and yelling back and forth with her and stuff, but she didn't want that. Like, she wanted it with Summer. So Lex was like, yeah, I beat you up, Jayla. That was for Dolly. And Jayla was like, you ain't do nothing for me. F you and your friend. Like, basically, we could go again. And Jayla was like, at the end of the day, Lex is a fan. And she probably been watching me for years, for a long time now. And I feel like that's true because Lex admitted that she used to watch Baddies. She felt like Jayla bullied Gretch and Biggie. She said that, she used to be watching Baddies in her dorm room. So I feel like you probably watched BGC too. And Jayla was on one of the later seasons. So I feel like you definitely watched that. And like I said, you probably didn't like her on the show, and that's why you came in looking for a problem with her on some fan shit. No shade. But anyway, Jayla and Lex go for their round two, and like I said, this is where I could see people saying that Jayla really got whooped. She was definitely left knotted with a bloody mouth, and you could see, I paused so y'all could see some of these screenshots. Them hits was definitely connecting, and Jayla really didn't have no control of the fight. Then Jayla started spitting, and it's like, girl, for you to start spitting, I really never thought that you would do that because you try to act like you so classy and you be talking down on the other girls that have spit. But that's how I know you really mad and you lost. That little undisputed streak that you was trying to hold on to, that you've been lost, in my opinion, you definitely lost it tonight. So after the fight, Jayla was telling Lex she couldn't fight. Lex was telling Jayla she couldn't fight. At the end of the day, Lex can definitely fight, even though I don't favor her personality. and her corny ass confessionals. And I've always told y'all that I'm pretty indifferent when it comes to Jayla. I don't hate her. I don't love her. She's just okay to me. She's just there. But her hands have always been questionable to me. And I've always felt like the Baddies fans overhyped her hands. And I do think that was proven tonight. So then Summer and Scotty go to square up. And in my opinion, Scotty was tearing Summer. And she was listening to Tasiki. You could hear Tasiki yelling and coaching in the background. Keep swinging, Scotty. Keep swinging, Scotty. And Scotty kept swinging. So then Lex is in the back yelling, oh, since Scotty got her shit off with Summer, let me get my shit off with Ahna, because Ahna threw a drink at me. Like I said, you could tell that Scotty and Ahna both didn't really want to fight Lex. Both wanted to fight Summer because they felt like Summer was the easier target. And Scotty definitely did her shit with Summer. Now, Ahna, I can't say the same. So Scotty was still yelling, like I said, still talking her shit to Lex, but she didn't want to fight. And Lex wasn't really able to just go at Scotty. So it was like, okay. But Scotty was basically saying, you know, you said you would never fight Ahna because she was so little, but now you want to fight her. You're late. You're late. You string bean ass bitch. And Lex was basically saying, I spared Ahna too many times. I spared her too many times. And now I'm on that. So it is what it is. Natalie just talking about this is crazy. This is crazy. Pointing between Scotty and Lex. Jaden talking about something. It's giving OGs versus new Gs. And I don't even know where I stand anymore. Girl, you don't stand nowhere. You barely been involved in the season besides your little beef with Biggie and your friendship with Ahna and Tasiki. We ain't really seen you bond with nobody else. Oh, and your crush on Ivory. Now, we already saw Summer and Ahna squaring up last week on the preview, and we saw that Summer was dragging Ahna. Ahna came on social media and said, oh, y'all need to see all 3 rounds. I'm going to have redemption, this, that, and the third. I didn't really see no redemption, Ahna. You got tore all 3 rounds. And it's like, how you get tore by Summer, girl? Now, I'm not going to lie. She didn't really tear her. It was really giving pull hair whole time. But that first round, Summer definitely got Ahna. Besides the hair pulling, she was like grabbing Anna's whole face. And I didn't really see Ahna connect at all. Now, let me look at the second and third round and tell y'all what I think. Okay, so they still trying to break up the first round. Natalie done ran over and she like getting in the middle of it. And Scotty's in the back yelling, swing, swing, Natalie, swing. So she want Natalie to swing on Summer. But what has me laughing is that Anna's foot was still out and Summer had like a grab or a grip on Anna's ankle and foot. And she just looked like she want to punch Anna's foot. But it's like, what is that going to do? But she was like grabbing Anna's toes. I think she was about to try to break Anna's fucking toes. I'm not even going to lie. So, of course, Natalie decides to take all her anger out on Scotty like she always does. And she turns around and she's like, Scotty, you better stop running your mouth unless you're going to go square up with Lex. You already know how I feel about you, so shut the F up. You don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me to get in the paint. And you know, Scotty was just saying the same thing that she said earlier. Jayla got jumped last night. Jayla's supposed to really be Natalie's girl. And I just feel like she should have her back more and basically be a little more against Lex and Summer than she is right now. But like we all know, Natalie Nunn is not anybody's friend. And I definitely feel like Scotty and Jayla are realer friends to each other than Natalie is to either one of them. And I think they've both started to realize that now. Okay, so now Summer and Ahna, second round. Okay, second round, Ahna was definitely swinging more than Summer, but I really didn't see either one of them connect. But what I did see was Summer still dragging Ahna around like a rag doll. So Summer gets the second round based off of that. Lex is in the background so hyped, talking about ha 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 ha. Tinkerbella was in her confessional, and I guess she was basically giving I'm minding my business because she said, I don't trust these girls no more. It's giving new Gs versus OGs, and I can't even trust my OGs because they ran on me when I got popped. So who's to say they won't run on me if Summer or Lex run up if I get involved? So Lex was still calling out Scotty, and Natalie was like, yeah, Scotty, Big Lex is what's next since you still talking and you running your mouth. Natalie's in her confessional talking about, I don't even know Scotty anymore, from Baddies South to Baddies Midwest. Now she's popping off, running her mouth, fighting everybody, getting in the paint and coming at me. Yeah, you don't know her because she's not the meek and timid little girl from Baddies South that you was able to beat up multiple times and she was crying for your friendship. She not that girl no more. And Jela was also saying that she wanted her ones with Summer because Summer jumped in her fight with Dolly. And she was like, I already fought Lex twice. I need that with Summer. So now it's time for round 3 with Summer and Ahna. Ahna's in her confessional talking about, I'm not leaving here until I beat Summer's ass. Round 1, round 2, round 3. Give me that. She was not able to beat Summer's ass, which makes sense why in next week's preview, she was really upset about it, which we'll talk about in a few. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Round 3 was a tie. Round 3 was head up when we talking about as far as connected hits. Ahna was definitely hitting Summer in the back of her head. She hit her in her front facial area a few times. She got her. Summer was still dragging her around by the hair. But as far as who was actually connecting with the punches, Ahna was getting her as well. So that was a tie. But what was crazy was at the end of the third round when they was breaking it up, you could hear Rolly in the back saying, why would she just bite her? Or, oh, she just bit her. And I had to rewind it. Why was Ahna grabbing Summer's foot while they was trying to break it up and putting Summer's foot damn near in her fucking mouth trying to bite Summer's foot? You said Summer's a dirty ass bitch, and y'all both been barefoot walking around on this floor for the past 5-10 minutes fighting each other. Y'all don't know who done been walking around this floor before y'all. All people dirty ass shoes and shit, and y'all walking barefoot. And now you putting her feet in your mouth? A dirty ass bitch who been walking on a nasty ass floor for 10 minutes? Ahna, you too mad. You too mad for me. Y'all too mad for me. Y'all biting bitches' feet? So Ivory was like, you know, everybody getting their ones, and I'm just looking around like, where's this B Mel? Because I know she's somewhere. So we see Mel coming out the car, and I was happy that she did get a confessional in the intro. So shout out to Zeus for giving my girl that. So Mel definitely came looking cute, but she definitely came unprepared. She was looking crazy when she got out the car. She kind of looked shook. And like I said, she needed to have her hair tied up. She didn't really need to have heels on, but I'm glad that she took them off as soon as she came in. So Mel basically said what we already know. Ivory threw pee at her. She'll never forgive her for that. So she's basically here to get her once. So like I said, as soon as Mel got in there, she took her shoes off. Her and Ivory locked eyes. They both got up and started squaring up. Everybody else was just like, what the hell is going on? Some people were like, who is that? Like, there was no introduction like, hey, baddies, this is Mel. She came in and she got straight into it with Ivory. Now, the weirdest shit of this whole thing was Lex on the side screaming, yeah, yeah, shouting out and cheering on Ivory against Mel. Like, haven't you and Ivory fought about 10 damn times this season and gonna fight about 4 more at the reunion from what we're hearing? But you're cheering her on for fighting somebody that she threw pee on and you don't even know the girl. Lex is a weird bitch. I'm telling y'all. Like, I can't take her no more. She could fight and that's cool, but I can't take her no more. I can't. So it was like everybody was against Mel, cheering for Ivory. And I will say that Mel lost, but they was acting like she really got tore up. She did not get tore up worse than Jayla got tore up by Lex. She was definitely swimming, and she definitely lost that first round, even though I feel like Mel was trying to uppercut and the security was in between them. But that second round, like right here on this screenshot, Mel was kind of overpowering Ivory and had backed her into that table. And then just as Mel was doing that, the security broke the round up. So Mel and Ivory got ready to square up for a third round. Tinkerbella and Tasiki was cheering her on, talking about eat Ivory, and the episode cuts off there. So next week on episode 23, which I'm hoping is our last episode of this season, please. Natalie leaves and her and Rolly are talking outside, and Natalie is basically saying, you know, I don't like how Scotty told me to get in the paint. We see Lex and Summer still mad, talking about they want to fight some more. We see Ahna mad and crying, saying she still want to fight some more, and she didn't get Summer how she wanted to get Summer. Ivory is happy. She's like, I'm real happy. I got Mel exactly how I wanted to get her. And Lex is still cheering Ivory on, talking about, yeah, you ended her. We see Natalie yelling out the car, telling Scotty she gonna get her ass whooped. Scotty don't really look phased. She was just talking to Jela on the sprinter. And then in a couple days, I guess Natalie is going to call Lex and basically say, I want you to get everybody together because we're all going to go hiking together. So I'm guessing this is going to be their final hike. They're going to have their little heart-to-heart. Natalie's going to give away a few more baddies chains, and hopefully that will conclude the season. Jayla and Lex are still going to be getting into it a little bit. Ahna and Nunu are still going to be getting into it a little bit. And Scotty is still getting into it a little bit with Summer and Lex as well. Rolly is going to call out some of the OGs and say that they've been tag teaming people all season and that's not baddie behavior. So it looks like Natalie's going to give out 3 more chains. I'm assuming that they're going to go to Nunu, Paula, and Summer. Unfortunately for Dolly, that means she probably did not get one. But who knows, maybe they gave her one at the reunion since she fought Tasiki again. So this week, my most valuable newbie is Ivory. My most valuable OG is Scotty. My least valuable newbie is Dolly. Farewell. And my least valuable OGs are Natalie for sure. And then Jayla and Ahna, really just because they lost the fights. Because y'all know that Summer and Lex definitely get on my nerves way more than Jayla and Ahna. But we going based off the fights. And Jayla and Ahna got tore. I can't lie. So it is what it is. Okay, y'all. So that's the end of my episode 22, Baddies Midwest episode review/recap. Make sure you check out the video I posted yesterday where I recapped the Baddies Africa auditions, episodes 1 and 2. And if you're watching me on TikTok, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you follow me on TikTok. And I'll see y'all later. Make sure you like, comment, and share. Bye, guys.